Let's turn next to golf, where we've got the Pebble Beach Pro-Am next on tour. First, though, a recap of this past weekend, and Scottie Scheffler didn't win, Dave.
He did not, and he almost did, though, despite starting with a 73. I just couldn't believe it, man. I'll save a little bit of it for talking about him in a few minutes, but it's just unbelievable. He finished one outside of a two-man playoff after starting almost as bad as we'll ever see him. It was crazy, but fun tournament overall. Always is. Chris Goddard wins for the second time this year already, doubled his career win total in 1 month of 2026. Really impressive stuff. He'll be a must watch for the rest of the year. Basically any event he's in, I think you have to at least consider, maybe look at his matchup, see if there's a red flag, but he should be somebody you're looking at. Last week didn't really yield any major wins from the Dimers model. Top contenders all came up short. However, all three of the golfers I had to watch did well. Each of them secured a top 20. Knapp and Goody both secured a top 10 in the top 5 mix throughout most of the weekend as well. For a while, I was kicking myself for playing Jake Knapp winner without Scottie Scheffler because I basically chopped the odds in half. And then I was like, oh my goodness, good thing I did that. And then it didn't matter because he lost anyway and Scheffler didn't win. But Scheffler ends up finishing above the guy who's sitting in top 5. So something to see. Unfortunately, we couldn't really get any live value. First 2 rounds were both suspended for like 3 guys to finish on 16 or 17. It was pretty annoying, but rounds were basically starting by the time they resumed play. So our model could not update for rounds 2 and 3. Hopefully not the case this week as we go to a shorter field and 1 full hour west. So that should help us there. This is a pretty fun tournament, one that our model absolutely nailed a couple years ago. The 2024 edition with Wyndham Clark, 80-1. Got to be one of the most fun bets of my life. Took him live. I just tailed pretty much all the Dimers edges at this point. I'm still kind of new using the Dimers golf tool. Bad weather delays the final round. Clark sits in the lead for like 2 full days. And then they finally axe the final round, call it after 54 holes. He secures the win, plus 8,000. Good Dimers win. Really fun time. Really, really good time to be betting on golf at that stretch of the Dimers model. But yeah, so now it's the 2026 edition. So let's see what we got. I will just preface this with saying that if you don't bet on golf, if you're not going to bet on this tournament, you should watch it anyway. It's a beautiful course. The field is really stacked. It's going to be a great watch. It's another dual course setup here. First 2 rounds will be split between Pebble Beach Links and the Spyglass Hill course. Final 2 rounds are both at Pebble Beach. So we'll play 3 rounds there, just 1 at Spyglass. It's an 80-man field, no cut event. So just absolute elite talent in this field. Kind of it's got no cut, so it's not like a major, but the talent will certainly feel like that. These are 2 shortest par 72s on the PGA Tour schedule. Pebble Beach clocks in just under 7,000 yards. Spyglass is just over 7,071. They've also got some of the smallest greens on tour. Pebble Beach, the smallest there are. So it kind of offsets that a bit. It's not exactly an easy course just because it's short, and accuracy over distance will prevail pretty much all the way through here. Weather can be a big factor. Talked about that earlier. It literally canceled an entire round of this tournament 2 years ago. Looking like we could get some rain and wind on Sunday. I don't think it's going to be quite nearly canceling the final round levels. It doesn't look anything like that, but it's going to get dicey potentially in the final round. So no lead is safe. Will be good to monitor your plays and look if there's anything you can do to kind of offset any potential guys coming apart at the end in sludgy conditions. And another good thing to note, just doing your research, course history is pretty relevant here. Every winner in the past 25 years previously made the cut, and I think all but one had a top 10 finish here previously. I believe only Wyndham Clark is the one who doesn't fit that. He was T18, his previous best. So you can kind of use that to narrow down some contenders. Look for guys who have been cut or who have made the cut and finished top 10, maybe even top 15 or so to find some sneaky value. Got some 2026 debuts. Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, Shane Lowry, plenty of top talent from the UK coming here. First signature event of 2026. So there's a fat $20 million purse on the line. Field is appropriately stacked with guys looking to chase that bag. And other than that, Good tournament, lots of opportunity. So let's just see what the model likes here with a quick look, pull up our predictions, and look at the outright value plays. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So for outright value, we've got 3 guys that jump right off the page, 2 of them right at the top, led by Scotty Scheffler, of course, plus 300, but 27.5% to win is fair at plus 260. So you're getting yourself a little edge there. Like I said, absolute display from him last week. Started out as bad as we maybe will ever see him, at least anytime soon. Then just stormed back like it never happened. Finished 1 stroke outside the 2-man playoff. Really proves that he's never out of it. Maybe if the number of strokes he's back matches the leader's score, perhaps. But other than that, if you think the guy could start a tournament a day late and catch up to you, it feels like. 2 top 10s his past 2 years here in his only 2 appearances. Maybe the only thing working against him this week is how stacked this field is. Super talented, so thus he's facing basically major level competition. But he also won 2 of those last year and finished T7 or better in all 4 of them. So it doesn't really matter how good everyone he's facing is. It's just he's always a threat. He does have a little edge here. You could play him. I'll transparency. I played him last week, but paired him with, I don't even remember who because he didn't win. But I think Ben Griffin to get a top 20, maybe somebody else to try and get slightly better. Maybe I even put Ben Griffin top 40, just to get something a little bit more out of it. Not really something you should be doing as it invites risk, but I have a hard time stomaching a plus 300 winner in a field of 80 or more people. You can get him at only minus 137 for top 5. So it's not, the worst thing, but it's just really hard to find plus money value on him in pretty much any facet. Not even plus money, but anything you would call appealing odds. So let's look at a couple other guys. Tommy Fleetwood, he's plus 3,000, 7.9% to win. That's fair at just under plus 1,200, so a really big edge here. Last time Tommy played in the U.S., we picked him to win the Tour Championship, and he delivered at 14-1. It was his first career win on the Tour. It only took him a 30-man field to do it, but he cashed all the same. 8 top 10s in 19 events last year. Just really good upside. He peaked here with a T22 last year, but he's improved every year that he's played, so perhaps he continues that trend. He ranked 2nd in strokes gained overall last year, 6th on approach, 35th in driving accuracy. A very good fit at this course. He's got an edge throughout here, top 20, top 10, top 5, and outright. His top 20, is huge. 65.9% at plus money is massive. And like I said, he's improved every year, so that perfectly lines up with that. He's the top ladder play by the model, one I will certainly be playing. And then third guy I want to look at here as outright value, Russell Henley, also sitting here in our top 5. Actually, no, I have one more person I want to look at. I didn't put him in this banner, though. 3.9%. He'd be fair at plus 2,500, so a good solid edge here. Opened with a T19 and a T9 this season. Ranked 4th in total strokes gained last year. Top 15 in tee to green, around the green, approach. He's definitely more accurate than powerful. Not a lot of power in his drives. Doesn't drive the ball very far. But these courses are not long, and accuracy is key here. Good putter to top it all off. Personal best in 6 tries, T5 here last year. Otherwise, a bit of mixed results. 2 missed cuts, 2 finishes in the 50s, and a T15. So pretty perfectly balanced all around as far as top 20, outside the 20, and a missed cut. But he's got a clear edge here. Based on these odds, he's gets a Dimer's Flame over 50% and at plus money for a top 20. Also a Flame for top 10. So he's another ladder play for me. And then the last guy I want to look at here, I didn't put him in the banner, but JJ Spawn, just a little further down to get into the longer shot territory. 2.2% at plus 6,000. That's fair at plus 4,450. He's a familiar name from a few earlier tournaments this year. Kind of a rough start for him, though. After winning the U.S. Open last year, hoping for bigger things, but he's off to a miscut and a T40 to start. Played here 7 times, missed his first 4 cuts, peaked with a T16 in 2022. I know it doesn't sound like somebody you want to get behind, but his form from last year is like an absolute ideal fit here. It's perfect. It lines up really well. He just hasn't found that through 2 events in 2026. He's got value in top 20 here and in top 10. So there's something here from the model. and it's probably worth getting a little sprinkle on in case he finds his form this week. Certainly worth it based on the price. And then, like I did last week, just a couple golfers to watch. No value on these guys, but they're notable names for one reason or another. Siwoo Kim, off to an insane start this year, top 15 in his last 2 outings at this course. Accurate off the tee and around the green. Just a really short price. The model doesn't love him as far as value is concerned. His fair odds would be plus 4,300. He's only 25 to 1. So just not a play as far as value is concerned. But remember, the guys last week weren't either, and they all did well. Shane Lowry, surprised to actually see him this low. I thought maybe he was missing for a second when I was looking for him. Model usually likes him a lot. Maybe it's because it's his first event in a while. Second place last year at this event, hampered by his worst round of 70 on day 2. Otherwise, he cruised. I think he was the only guy to beat Rory over the course of the weekend. Pretty well-rounded fit. Not a great putter, but probably someone to at least keep an eye on. Let's see what we have him for top 20 real quick before we wrap this up. 28% plus 190. So it's not that far off, but someone to watch anyway. And then, of course, Rory McIlroy, reigning champ. Got him at just 4.3%. So the model's not a fan as far as value, but that is our 3rd highest probability to win. That would be plus 2250 though. So a little bit off here. Not really a lot to say. He's got the monkey off his back with the Masters win last year. First year, he's finally gets to come into the season without that looming over him. Going to be a kind of almost a different year for Rory. Honestly, it'd be kind of interesting to see how this goes for him. But you can get a little bit of an edge on him, unless my math is bad. Top 5 plus 450 and 20.9%. I believe that should be about 390 maybe, because 20% would be plus 400. So you can get a little edge on him. Top 5, top 10. Probably not the worst way to play him in his first event of the year in a loaded field, but somewhere he's really good. Other than that, lots of top 20 value in here. Definitely dig into these predictions and sort through. Don't sleep on the head-to-head tool either. I'll probably write up a head-to-head matchup parlay in an article on site. That'll be a pro article for sure. So if you're a Dimers Pro, keep an eye out for that. And hopefully we'll roll with something nice and good in the head-to-head market this week. Otherwise, lots of value in there to dig through. And I will definitely be riding those Henley Fleetwood ladders myself.
Nice. I love when we get the head-to-head matchup parlay articles. Sometimes I'm an old school like written article guy too. So whenever you can source some of these picks into that format, it's really easily digestible, Dave. I can't believe Fleetwood. 30 to 1 for Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, I'm not staying away. I can't believe he's not like 22 to 1, even 18 to 1.
Yeah,
25 to 1. I have to jump on that.
He was just.
I didn't check all the books, but so I might not have that price, but
he was far and away the second best golfer on the planet for the entirety of the second half of last year. I mean, if this just if you pick up for him at all, I think we're going to look back at that price is crazy. So good to see the model reflecting what my gut told me there, almost 3 times what he would be fair at an 8% chance to win the tournament. Pretty crazy. Okay. Thank you. Looking forward to the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. As always, love that golf season is here.